Leafs told not to use officials on the ice. Jack Adams Award nominees and Calder nominees have been announced. Hi everyone, Brenton here from It's Hockey Night. This is entire news for the 15th of July 2020 in the NHL. Not a huge amount to go through, but some interesting stuff, so enough for a video here. So let's start with the Maple Leafs. They were using officials in their practice and scrimmage games. They're really making these scrimmage games look realistic. Like they've got music playing in between breaks at the arena. They've got the goal horn going. Apparently there's an MVP award that they've got for Phase 3, so they're really trying to make this as realistic as possible. So, I mean, if it works out, good on them. Like, try get an edge where you can. But they were using officials on the ice as well, and the NHL put a stop to that. So, I'm not sure if it's COVID related. I think it's more that other teams complained that they didn't really have the option to be able to do that. So the NHL put a stamp to that very quickly, and they can't use officials on the ice. However, they have got around it. I think they've got a few assistant coaches now out there and in ref uniforms anyway. So, yeah, it just means they're not going to have the real thing. The Jack Adams Award nominees have been announced. That's why I'm in the Bruins jersey. Unfortunately, it's the Sagan one. So, oh boy, that doesn't hold up as well. But anyway, it's a good jersey. It's fine. So, Bruce Cassidy of the Bruins, John Tortorella of the Blue Jackets, and Alain Vigneault of the Philadelphia Flyers were nominated. A lot of people have been giving Cassidy a bit of shit for being nominated, which I'm a bit surprised. I feel like the coach award, like it really is, did your team get a lot of injuries and they couldn't, and then they got into the playoffs? Like, here's an award. Like, it just seems to be like the Masterton Award for coaching adversity. Almost. It seems to be that way, and I feel like we don't acknowledge just a team doing very, very well that went above what I think a lot of people thought they would be doing this year, and that's the Boston Bruins. They made it to the conference final last year. The Stanley Cup final, so they made it to the Stanley Cup final last year, but I didn't have them as President Cup winners. They're a good team, but I didn't have them like a 100-point team when this all, stalled, and there was still a fair few games to go, so they did very well this year. They regular season stats wise, in a lot of stat categories, they improved on last year, and it says a lot of the coach that you can take a team to the Stanley Cup final and improve the year after. So I really do think that's deserved. Tortorella, I'm not. They're all in last year, that team, the Blue Jackets, and they lost Panarin and a few of their other acquisitions, and through some good goaltending, they were able to make it into, a playoff position. But, I don't have a problem with this one either. I think, he's changed the way that he's coached a little bit. I kind of feel like he is a better coach with a bunch of bums and lifting, third-line players to be better than he is dealing with superstars. But, so he was probably a little bit more in his element. Credit due. Alain Vigneault was one I originally looked at and was like, woof, this is not good. They just got better goaltending, and that's why he got the award. However, looking through, it's not the case. I pulled up a lot of the advanced stats. They scored a lot more goals a game, almost half a goal a game extra than they did last year. And they received a lot less shots on net, so that's why the goaltending. I thought the goaltending was just better because just looking at stat lines from throughout the year, but it turns out that they were just getting a lot less high damage shots on net against them. So, credit to them. They got there. I was a little bit bummed. I'm a Penguins fan that Sullivan didn't get in. I feel like the amount of injuries that team went through, and I know I said this is an award sometimes that is the Bill Masterton of Coaching Adversity Award, but I feel like they had to deal with a lot of adversity. There was a point where Gensel, Malkin, and Crosby were all out, and they're still winning games. Some, by hook or by crook, they're still winning games, and I really do think that the coaching had a lot to do with that. But that's fine. That's fine. It's I would be fine with him being in the top 5 and just not being out, not quite squeaking in. When you look under these three with a bit bigger of a microscope, you start to see why they were picked, and I understand. What do you think in the comments down below? Who do you think should win? It's a bit of a tight one. I think Tortorella will probably win, but because, you know, he didn't yell at anyone. He didn't start a fight with a coach this year. He changed his view on that racist protest, on the arms up, kneeling down protests. So, I mean, not massively, but he changed his view. So I feel like that they might give it to him. The Calder, Hughes, Kubalik, and Makar, Cale Makar, are all nominated. So yeah, there you go. I mean, there's not too much to really talk about. We all know who's really going to win that. So, but yeah, 3. I mean, it was really who was going to be the third guy. Like the first 2 was really set. It was always going to be Hughes and Cale Makar. Especially Cale doing so well in the playoffs last year, it was kind of a gimme that as long as he stayed healthy and kept that form up, he would be right up there. And Hughes had a very good year as well. Yeah, not the Hughes that some people may have thought would have been in the Calder race towards the end of the season, but it's the Hughes that's on there. But yeah, like it is. Yeah, it'll be good to see who's gonna win that. But I think we can all sort of lean one way. And Kubalik, yeah, I mean, he kind of came out of nowhere mid this year, sort of like early mid this year, and just was able to keep that steady flow going on. So yeah, congratulations to all those 3. I don't feel like there's an omission there or anything like that. So yeah, we'll just move on. But who do you think is going to win it? Put the comments down below. Some other small bits of news. Ella is probably going to have to leave the bubble at some point. Well, he is going to leave the bubble, not probably. He's going to have a child, so he's going to be there for the childbirth, which makes perfect sense. So it's just, you know, this happens all the time in sport, that people leave. It's obviously just a bit more difficult now because there's a bubble, so he's just going to have to quarantine, take a little bit longer to come back into the lineup, but completely understand that he wants to be there for the birth of his kid. It makes perfect sense. Patrick Burgland, may remember, Blues player, was traded to Buffalo Sabres in the O'Reilly deal, and yeah, it didn't really work out. He didn't want to play there anymore. He is definitely not coming back to the NHL, at least this year. I think he's done with the NHL personally, but it's okay. He's officially signed in Sweden, so yeah, so that's a definite done deal. It was all in Swedish, and there was umlauts everywhere. So yeah, so you know it's official when there's an umlaut. And a little bit of Jesse Puljujarvi news. So one of the KHL GMs, I'm not even going to pretend to pronounce that name, so I'm just going to put a picture there because like I would just butcher that to just some degree of just completely, like it would insult people. It'd probably make it Cold War 2.0. That's how bad I'll butcher that name. Jesse Puljujarvi was approached by a KHL coach at the Torpedoes. GM, sorry, not coach. And yeah, they gave him a good offer, or what he said was a good offer, and he rejected it. And he said he either wants to play in Finland or North America, and with a lead towards North America. So a little bit of news there that Jesse Puljujarvi may be trying to get into the NHL again and starting to work it all out after the whole Oilers, you know, debacle is probably the best word for it. Yeah, those two just didn't get along. I don't even know if there's an NHL caliber player there. Like, that's the other thing, is like, is there a player there? Anyway, that's your lot. That's all the news. There wasn't really too much else. Looked like there was going to be an announcement from Pronger, but really that was just a jersey, like, sale thing that he's doing. Some auction of a jersey that he wore. So yeah, he's not looking to take a head office job at the Philadelphia Flyers, which we thought maybe was on the cards because obviously he just left the Florida Panthers. But no, that's incorrect. So yeah, so that's somewhat exciting. But yeah, that's the whole video, guys. If you haven't made it this far, hit the subscribe button. It really does help us out. Got 2 yesterday, so that's made me feel a little good when I wake up. And hit the like button because I think it helps the algorithms. And comment down below any of the points there if you want to continue the conversation on. We've got some playoff previews coming up. I've been sort of recording them intermittently at the moment in the next 24 hours. And then I'll edit them all Friday night my time, so a lot of them should be trickling in over the weekend. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Have a great day. Stay safe. That's the most important thing. And hopefully we get hockey. We're one day closer. One less sleep. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. See you and bye.